couldn't imagine my kids being shot. Like, I couldn't imagine. But I'm also not going to let my kids roam the street as if they're a loose dog or something.
Many in Louisville concerned about the rise of violence among kids. Hear from a concerned parent about what she thinks will make a difference.
A Louisville woman calling for justice after her sister was found dead. Police are investigating, and now a man is facing charges. We break down the case and action her loved ones want to see.
And local health leaders say a child with measles has now been reported in Jefferson County. More about the cases reported so far and the symptoms to look out for. Wave News Sunrise starts right now.
Now, Wave News Sunrise.
Good Wednesday morning. We're waking up to some more rain out there today.
And plenty of lightning. I saw it was like a light show this morning on my drive into work.
Yeah, not the fun ones for sure, as we see all of those storms moving through. But thankfully, they're moving pretty quickly, so that's going to help us out with any flash flooding concerns, but certainly still watching more of that heavy rainfall. And I was seeing quite a bit of lightning on this particular camera in E-Town. You can see that there off into the distance as we watch for more of these thunderstorms pushing through portions of wave country. So everywhere you see the yellow and orange on your screen, that is where we're dealing with the heaviest rainfall. So from Jackson County into Jennings County through portions of Jefferson, Scott, and Clark counties, you're now all dealing with that heavy rainfall as of right now. Those of you a little bit further to the west in southern Indiana, you are drier for the moment. More of that heavy rainfall moved through portions of the metro earlier, but we're still talking moderate to heavy rain anywhere from Middletown down towards Mount Washington, and we're watching more of that heavy rain now pushing back out of Shelby County and into Franklin County. So for those of you in Frankfort, this is your heads up right now. Additional scattered showers and thunderstorms from Bullitt County back into Hardin County and all the way into Breckenridge and Grayson County. So this is the first wave of rain that we're going to see, but then we're still going to keep an eye on some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms for later on this morning and into the afternoon. So certainly not as widespread, but some of these thunderstorms still can produce some very heavy rain and some gusty winds. So we'll have to watch for that very, very closely. The other thing that we're going to keep an eye on, more of that sunshine trying to come our way for later on this afternoon. And that, along with the southerly wind, should allow our temperatures to climb back into the upper 80s and low 90s for your highs. So we could see a little bit more of that heat trying to build as we head into later on this afternoon. I'll talk about, of course, that heavy rain that we're seeing right now and more of these thunderstorms expected all the way into the upcoming weekend in my full forecast.
Thank you, Tawana. Louisville officials continue to be concerned over violence in the city among young people.
And not only do they say guns are getting into the hands of kids, we're seeing more end up as victims themselves. The most recent, a 17-year-old boy shot and killed. LMPD says this happened just after 5:30 last night on Poplar Level Court near Thomas Jefferson Middle School. Officers found a teenager who had been shot in the torso. He was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. LMPD hasn't said if there's been any arrest in this case. But that shooting makes the fourth victim that is under the age of 18 in a little over 24 hours.
And that includes a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old who police say were shot yesterday morning, plus an 8-year-old shot the night before. The latest victim has more people calling for change. People say they want a safer Louisville. Community activists we've spoken with stress the importance of keeping children off the streets, giving them productive hobbies and programs with representation from people who are like them. It is something Mayor Craig Greenberg agrees with, asking parents to take advantage of free summer programs. And we heard from parents, too, who say it matters how you parent your child.
Be on your kids, like, know their whereabouts. Make sure they're not bringing guns in your house. Like, check them like they're not grown. Like, you have to talk to them like they're kids. Don't treat them like they're grown. That's when they start acting like they're grown. Don't let them be your friend. They're your child, not your friend.
LMPD is investigating all of the shootings right now, and if you have any information, you can contact them anonymously at 574-LMPD.
New developments in the Crystal Rogers case. Hundreds of pages of official court records on the murder trials of Brooks Houck, Joseph Lawson, and Stephen Lawson are now public. In one document, prosecutors laid out their plans to show motive and intent for Brooks Houck to kill Crystal Rogers. They say Houck was against paying child support and didn't want to share custody of their child, Eli. Prosecutors also revealed new information against Brooks' mother, Rosemary Houck, and his brother, former Bardstown police officer Nick Houck. They say in In the weeks before and following Crystal's disappearance, Rosemary's phone had no activity, which leads them to believe she was using a burner phone instead. They say she was part of the conspiracy to murder Crystal and even asked a man with the initials DS if he could, quote, get rid of Crystal Rogers. DS told her there were people who would kill Crystal for the right amount of money. During the trial, we heard testimony from a former Houck employee and a witness named Danny Singleton. When it comes to Brooks' brother, Nick, prosecutors link him to the conspiracy, saying he can't provide a detailed timeline of his locations the night Crystal disappeared. They say his attempt to get his brother to end his police interview and pushing his family to record their grand jury testimony is proof as well. We have much more detail on the case and these new documents over on our website, wave3.com. You can also have the latest information about the case sent right to your phone by downloading the Wave News app.
New on Sunrise, we're hearing from the ex-girlfriend of the man police say killed 2 women and injured 3 others, including a state trooper in Lexington. In the days leading up to the shooting, she says she filed an emergency protective order. Guy House's ex-girlfriend says their relationship started off well. House moved in with her at the beginning of the year. She says she later noticed a change in him and his mental health. On July 4th, shortly after they split up, she says House stole guns and other items from her car. She says it was days later when she told police about his physical and emotional threats towards her.
When you communicate to someone that someone's made the threat of suicide by cop and to kill their children's mother, it shouldn't be dismissed. It should be taken serious.
Now, she did file an EPO against House, but says it was never served. House was shot and killed by police after his rampage in Lexington Sunday.
A Louisville native found dead in a hotel room in central Kentucky. Meanwhile, her family continuing to pray for justice as the man charged in her death appears in court this morning.
And she's one of what we're learning could be multiple victims across the state. 29-year-old Reshell Dawson was found dead of an overdose in a Winchester hotel late last month. Her toxicology report reveals she had 71 times more meth in her system than the average overdose. Police arrested 44-year-old Brian Epperson, and they've connected him to a similar case in eastern Kentucky where a woman was found dead with more than 280 times the average amount of meth in her system. Reshell's sister believes there will be accountability in her sister's death.
It's just a waiting game. You know, we can't rush things like this. I want to make sure they get it right and put them away so he can't do this to anyone else.
She says her sister never used drugs until meeting Epperson, something she thinks could be the same in the other cases. Epperson is scheduled to appear in Clark County Court this morning on the possession of meth charge.
Officials have been looking into recent deadly crashes on the 2nd Street Bridge. If you have ideas to make the bridge safer, you can join a town hall meeting today. Indiana State Representative Wendy Dan Chesser is hosting today's meeting at 3:30 inside Clarksville Town Hall. There have been 2 deadly motorcycle crashes on the bridge just within the past 3 weeks. KYTC reports more than 20,000 cars drive over the bridge every day. Chesser says representatives from Jeffersonville, Clarksville, and Louisville will be at the meeting. An alert you may have gotten on your phone yesterday, a warning about a missing 5-year-old boy from Hart County. Sadly, Kentucky State Police say Silas Cheerer was found dead after he wandered away from home.
And their release said that Silas had autism and may have been in danger. Yesterday was the first time that type of warning was used. Now Kentucky emergency officials are sharing more about the Ian Alert. And Ian Alert lets the public know a child with autism or other disabilities is missing and could be in danger. It is named after Ian Sousis, who drowned in the Ohio River in 2022 after walking away from the Children's Home in northern Kentucky, which is a mental health care provider. His grandmother, Rhonda O'Brien, says Ian had a habit of walking away from safe places. She had hoped for a different result the first time the alert went out and hopes with more education it will make a difference.
I was just praying that that the outcome would be different. Maybe if we get some more education to the public, that the next time it will be.
KSP says no foul play is suspected in Silas's death. They are still investigating. When an Ian Alert comes through, authorities say watch out for kids who may look lost and also pay close attention to nearby bodies of water, including pools, because many children with autism are drawn to water. Jefferson County, Kentucky has now confirmed its first measles case this year. It now makes 13 cases across the state.
Around the year 2000, measles was thought to be a controlled issue, with about 4 to 5 cases a year being recorded in the country. That number has now jumped to more than 1,200 reported cases this year in the U.S. Doctors tell us the child from Jefferson County traveled internationally to a country where there's an ongoing measles outbreak. We're told 11 of the Kentucky patients were unvaccinated, and another only got 1 dose of the MMR vaccine. Doctors stress the importance of getting that vaccine because measles is highly contagious and can spread before you even feel symptoms coming.
That virus can hang in the air for up to 2 hours. So even after the person's left, that you can still be exposed to measles and you're not aware of it.
Doctors are also reminding people of the symptoms of measles. They include fever, cough, congestion, runny and red nose, and watery eyes. Several days after the symptoms start, a rash usually starts on the head and spreads down the body. You can find more information on where to get vaccinated with this story on wave3.com. And if you need to get the vaccine or an updated booster, you can go to your doctor or local pharmacy. Here's Tawana taking a look at the rainy next 12 hours.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye. Excuse me. Ooh, my voice is trying to run away from me there. We're keeping an eye on the rainfall moving through for this morning. You are certainly going to need the rain gear for today. But even this afternoon, the sunglasses will be handy as we get more of that sunshine trying to come our way then, with highs today in the upper 80s and the low 90s. Now, heavy rain remains a concern as we head over the next 12 hours and over the next several days. I'll break down the flash flooding threat that we'll be watching in just a bit.
Thank you, Tawana. It's now been a year since the Safer Kentucky Act went into effect. Community advocates are warning about how it negatively impacts those who are homeless, why they say it is not helping ahead.
And it is summertime. That means New Lou's Summerfest is right around the corner. They're celebrating all things summer, and get ready for it. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote is giving us a live preview this morning. And as you're heading out the door right now, it looks like traffic is doing just fine. Maybe a few slowdowns across the metro just because people are driving slowly with that rain that came through here. We do still have some slick roads out there, so take it easy, but no incidents to report right now.
Now, Wave News.
Okay, we are in summer, so let's celebrate it, right? With the New Lou Summerfest.
This is their 3rd time doing this, celebrating all things summer. And of course, they have those summertime staples like a watermelon eating contest, pickleball, live music, so much stuff happening in New Lou. And Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote is live there this morning, telling us more about what we can expect. Kirsten?
Hey, Olivia, good morning to you guys. That's right. So much is going to be happening this weekend. Like you said, pickleball in the streets, cornhole, live music. What more do you want? And also some fun drinks, too, that everyone can enjoy. I'm here with Maddie. She's with Fizz District. Thank you so much for being here this morning. You're going to make us some drinks, right?
Of course, yes. And thank you guys so much for having us. We're super excited to be involved with the New Lou Fest this weekend.
Yeah, and so y'all will be on the streets and people can come up to you and get a drink. What is Fizz District for those who don't know?
Yeah, so Fizz District's whole goal is to be specialty handcrafted sodas, better for everybody. Our goal is to take away that sticky flavor in the back of your mouth and replace it with just like a full body fresh feeling.
Awesome. So let's see what we have here.
Yes, of course. So today we brought our strawberry fizz, which you'll be able to sample this weekend at the festival, and we also brought our monthly launch, which is our tropical fizz, for anybody that wants to come down and try it out at the store. We're going to start with our strawberry fizz today.
Okay, I love this. Strawberry, very summer flavor like. We love that.
Yes, and we are very proud to say that everything that we make is made with as much natural sugars as we have. Right now we're going to be working with our strawberry puree, which I will say, delicious. Even on its own, it's one of those flavors that just stands out so prominently in a profile.
Yeah. And so we're talking how there's a cocktail competition going on too, but this is something that when the kids come down, because this is a family-friendly event, so the kids can have this and they can, feel like they're having fun too themselves, and of course take part in that pickleball and all that good stuff.
Of course, yes. We want this to be as much of a family event as we can, really appealing to all ages.
I love it. And then where can people find you this weekend down here?
Yeah, so we'll be down at the Nulu Fest. I'm not sure exactly where we'll be located yet, but we are super, super excited to be involved. We're very excited to have been doing so much outreach like we have been, and we're very excited that the community has been so accepting of us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And then Nulu Summerfest is happening this Saturday, 12 to 7. You definitely don't want to miss it, down on the 700 and 800 blocks of East Market Street. Shannon and Olivia, back to you guys.
Oh, thank you, Kirsten. You know, I love hanging out in Nulu on a normal weekend.
I know.
Especially for Summerfest.
Yes, and that drink sounds yummy.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
Refreshing, Tawana.
Yeah, and we're going to need something refreshing as we head into the next 10 days, because we're going to talk more about that rain, more of that heat, humidity in the forecast as well. So here's what we're dealing with. Looking into Simpsonville, that heavy rain, like I mentioned, if you're watching just half an hour ago, moving back into your area. A lot of lightning with this thunderstorm as well. So those rainfall totals trying to add up in some parts of wave country already this morning. Now, for those of you in southern Indiana, we're still watching some very heavy rain anywhere from near Seymour to North Vernon, over towards Madison, Scottsburg, and even into Clark County, getting in on some of these heavy downpours. Same thing in the parts, but not all of the Louisville Metro. A little bit drier towards downtown. However, some very heavy rain right now in the Fairdale area along the Snyder. So if you're traveling anywhere near the Jefferson Memorial Forest along the Snyder, you're getting in on that heavy rain. Same thing along 65 between Okolona and Hillview, some torrential rainfall there. So things are going to be slow on parts of the Snyder, parts of the Watterson, parts of 65 this morning, and also along 64 in Shelby County. As we're dealing with more of that heavy rain, I showed you what it looks like in Simpsonville. We're seeing the torrential rainfall towards Shelbyville and even towards Olive Branch and Normandy too. And then some of the heaviest rainfall in our area right now is focused in on Franklin County. A lot of lightning with that thunderstorm there. Additional downpours showing up from near Big Spring to E-Town towards Mumfordville. So if you're traveling this morning, just take a peek at the Wave Weather app, see where that heavy rain is along your path to maybe to work or wherever else you may be going this morning, to make sure you can stay safe and informed as you're heading out and about. Also watching these fronts nearby, and because of these, we're going to watch for more rounds of rain coming our way for later on this week and into the upcoming weekend. Temperature-wise, we are starting off the day in the low to mid-70s across our region. We'll watch for more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms as we continue throughout your morning commute. By the time we reach around lunch, things are going to be drying out across wave country as some of these clouds also try to clear. So many of us are dealing with the downpours this morning. Some of you are already seeing some beautiful sunrises in your area. So it's kind of a mixture of both of those to start off the day. More of us get in on the sunshine for later on this afternoon as we climb into the upper 80s and the low 90s for your highs. And as we warm up, a couple of isolated downpours are possible, especially for those of you east of 65. These can produce some heavy rain and more of those gusty winds. For the overnight hours, going to quickly dry out, keeping an eye on some clouds still overhead as we return to the 70s for your lows. We have a marginal risk of severe weather out for most of our region. We're talking anywhere from parts of Hardin County and Marion County northward. And with this, we do see the potential for some 50, 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts within some of the stronger storms, but it's mainly the heavy rain that we'll have to watch as the day continues, because some of you have already seen 1 to 3 inches of rainfall since Monday. You add on top of that an additional quarter of an inch, half an inch, inch plus of rain, and then flash flooding can become an issue. We saw a little bit of that happening in parts of wave country yesterday, and I certainly would not be surprised if we see it in a couple of pockets again today. Rolling into your Thursday, adding back in some more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. It does look like we're going to start off your Thursday with a mix of sun and clouds and a couple of isolated downpours. Jumping into the low 90s for your highs for tomorrow, adding in some more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon, and then again into portions of your Thursday evening as a cold front moves in. Now that front's going to stall out across our region for the weekend, and this is what's going to keep those rounds of rain for Friday into parts of Saturday and Sunday too. Now rainfall totals can certainly add up as we head throughout the rest of the day all the way through Monday. We can see another 2 to 3 inches of widespread rain across our region. Keep in mind that's widespread. Some of you could see some locally higher totals for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Once we get past Monday, that is when we see some drier weather coming back our way as we watch for temperatures climbing back into the mid 90s for highs by next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots.
Hundreds of people are waking up without power this morning as those storms continue to move through our area. The LG&E outage map shows more than 700 customers near the Zonton and Bullitt County do not have power. Crews will be out to try to turn those lights back on, and LG&E says you should report down power lines and keep a safe distance away from any active lines.
The medals for next year's Olympics and Paralympic Winter Games in Milano Cortina were revealed in Venice.
And the design has a really unique story to it. Two Italian sporting greats accompanied the medals by boat yesterday on their journey to the grand unveiling. The Olympic organization says the medals feature a unique design. It combines two halves that symbolize the culmination of the athlete's journey and all those who have walked beside them along the way. Italy will host the Winter Olympics next February, and you'll be able to catch plenty of the excitement here on Wave News and on NBC. But crazy to think about anything winter related in the middle
right.
of summer.
I know. You know, it's recycled metal too, so that's kind of cool for those medals.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. We love that, and we're looking forward to that once it comes along. But yeah, we're still in the middle of summer, and because of that, we have those temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and low 90s for later on this afternoon. Going to be talking about more of that heat sticking around through the weekend, but really ramping up once we head into the middle of next week. But first, we have to deal with more of those showers and thunderstorms. And if you have the wave weather app, just a heads up, I made a couple of tweaks to the forecast there because these storms are speeding up a little bit, which is going to help out the morning commute. But we're still going to see some of these scattered showers and thunderstorms around this morning, an isolated rain chance for the afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds across the region for today. We'll add in more of those thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening especially. Same thing into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Even into Monday with that front still nearby, we'll keep some of those showers and storms in our forecast and more sunshine and drier conditions expected for the middle of next week.
All right, thank you, Tawana. Americans' unpaid medical bills will remain on their credit reports after all. It follows a federal judge blocking a Biden-era Consumer Financial Protection Bureau rule that would have removed medical debt. The judge ruled that rule exceeded the Bureau's authority under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The rule would have removed nearly $50 billion in medical bills from credit reports of 15 million people and posted a person's credit score 20 points. The Consumer Data Industry Association, one of the plaintiffs in the case, applauded the court's action. The group said if the rule was left in place, lenders might not have an accurate picture of with which to make lending decisions.
Churchill Downs was dealing with more horse deaths during this past spring meet. Coming up, hear what could be attributing to that increase and how industry experts hope to turn it around.
Now, Wave News Sunrise.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, and you're probably waking up to those storms that moved through this morning.
I know, making it a little bit harder to get out of bed, right? Isn't there a few things better than sleeping when it's raining outside?
That is very true. But here's the thing. For today, we'll be watching not just the heavy rain, but also a lot of sunshine coming our way. So we're going to get a good mixture of both as the day goes along. And let me show you what we're seeing on many of our Kentucky Mesonet cameras. We're seeing that sun already beaming down for those of you in Adair County, but more of the clouds and more of those raindrops on the camera in Oldham County, Bullitt County, and in Spencer County, too. So let's look at the radar and see what we have going on. This rain is quickly racing off towards the east. So that's certainly some good news, especially in terms of our flash flooding threat and the impacts to the core of the morning rush. We're still dealing with some of the heaviest rainfall in portions of Jennings County and into Jefferson County in Indiana. In the metro, more of that heavy rain right along 65 from near downtown all the way towards Hillview. This is quickly pushing to the east, so giving y'all that heads up right now. More of that heavy rain in Shelby County, Franklin County, Spencer County, all the way through Bullitt, south in the portions of Hardin County, and all the way south towards Munfordville. So a lot of us dealing with these pockets of heavy rainfall for this morning. Good news is that it doesn't last all day. We are going to see those rain chances dropping off pretty quickly as we approach the 7, 8 o'clock time frame with those storms moving through. Going to keep that potential for isolated thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, though, especially as our temperatures start to warm back into those upper 80s and low 90s. That could help to trigger additional downpours later on today. Heavy rain certainly a concern, along with some strong wind gusts embedded in some of these storms. And we're going to keep an eye on rain chances for the rest of the work week and into this upcoming weekend. I'll talk a little bit more about those rain chances that we have coming our way, plus that potential heat wave showing up for next week in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Tawana. Advocates for people experiencing homelessness say new numbers show current unlawful camping laws are having a negative impact. It's been a year since the Safer Kentucky Act went into effect. The law is designed to set stricter penalties for violent crimes, but it also addressed issues like street camping. Kentucky became one of the first states in the country to ban street camping. As of July 2nd, there have been 425 unlawful camping charges in district court in 30 counties across the Commonwealth. Advocates say these citations and arrests do not bring real solutions for homelessness.
Criminalizing homelessness further destabilizes unhoused Kentuckians' lives and disrupts access to services. Instead of arresting and jailing people for being unhoused, the state should pursue housing solutions that actually work.
Advocates also say more people are hiding to avoid getting fined. The penalty for unlawful camping is a violation and fine of up to $250.
We're learning how the University of Louisville plans to implement a new law that bans diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at Kentucky colleges and universities. U of L's interim executive vice president Katie Cardarelli told state lawmakers the university is redirecting $2 million in scholarship funds, which was previously for students based on their race or gender. We're also told no U of L employees were directly fired because of House Bill 4, but they say certain positions and programs have been restructured.
For example, the Commission on the Status of Women and the Commission on Diversity and Racial Equity were dissolved, and stakeholders will be invited to serve on the new Presidential Commission on Climate, Culture, and Well-Being. This new commission is dedicated to cultivating a safe, respectful, and inclusive university environment.
Cardarelli says U of L held a day-long guidance retreat to train dozens of university leaders on the new requirements under House Bill 4. Other colleges like UK, WKU, and EKU also updated state lawmakers about the changes they made because of the law.
A new partnership between Kentucky State University and Jefferson Community and Technical College could bring more nurses to the state. The schools say they're teaming up to offer a new Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Students will be enrolled at KSU and get services on Jefferson's downtown campus. They'll also have access to the college's nursing labs and other student services. The schools are also offering a new scholarship that will provide tuition-free bachelor's degree education to students eligible for the federal Pell Grant. Medical marijuana now one step closer to being offered at Kentucky dispensaries. Governor Andy Beshear says the first inventory of medical cannabis grown in the state is now complete. It comes from Armory Kentucky LLC. That's a cultivator in Mayfield. It is the first business to introduce medical cannabis inventory in Kentucky history. So far, Kentucky has licensed 81 businesses and registered more than 400 medical cannabis practitioners, and more than 17,000 Kentuckians have been issued a written certification. Over 11,000 have successfully applied for and gotten a medical cannabis card. After a year of improvement, fatal injuries to horses went up again during this year's spring meet at Churchill Downs, and that increase has track officials searching for answers.
7 horses died while racing at Churchill Downs this year. That number is just from May and June, though. Reviews and investigations have been launched into why the number went up over last year. Equine Medical Director William Farmer says the problem is not with the horses that reside and train at Churchill Downs. He attributes the increase to the horses that travel from track to track. Despite the spring increase in fatal injuries, the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority is expecting fewer horse deaths in the future.
Overall, we're seeing still the positive trend of keeping the numbers much lower than they were pre-HISA. But I do think we're going to see a slight uptick in the second quarter that I hope and expect will make up for in the third quarter.
Horses and racing return to Churchill Downs with the fall meet beginning in September.
Indiana State Police are reminding drivers take it slow on the roads after this happened. A semi crashed right into a Sellersburg church. It happened on US 150 near the Washington-Harrison County line. Troopers say no one was inside the Faith Victory Center church when the semi crashed into it. They are investigating, but they do say it was raining at the time of the crash. And if you are heading out this morning, you could run into some rain.
Yeah, we're watching more of those downpours across parts of our region, but we're also seeing enjoying this gorgeous sunrise on our SkyTrack camera in Bardstown. I'm going to be watching for more of these showers and thunderstorms pushing through as the morning continues. Isolated rain chances as we head into the afternoon, but still some of these thunderstorms can produce more of that heavy rain, some gusty winds. Highs today in the upper 80s and the low 90s. I'll let you know when we could see mid to upper 90s for highs on the other side of the break.
And we do have a traffic alert for you right now. A report of a crash on I-265 westbound at Preston Highway. It looks like they have the left shoulder and the left lane blocked, so starting to see some delays in that area. Everywhere else is fine in the metro. Just take it slow because of that rain and some slick roads this morning.
As WAVE celebrates America's 250th anniversary next year, we're looking back at what happened on this day in history. On July 16th, 1969, Apollo 11 took off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida on a historic mission to the moon. After traveling 240,000 miles in 76 hours, Apollo 11 entered into a lunar orbit on July 19th. Commander Neil Armstrong and lunar module pilot Buzz Aldrin landed the lunar module Eagle days later, marking the first time humans landed on the moon. I had a chance to interview Buzz Aldrin. Just what stories? Just incredible.
You never told me about that.
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk later.
We'll talk about it later. Okay. Well, this weekend, you can feel like you're going to the beach with the annual Nulu Summerfest.
And this year, for their third annual Nulu Summerfest, they have a surf-inspired theme. Hopefully, you can have some fun in the sun out there at Nulu. And WAVE News reporter Kirsten Foote joining us live this morning with a preview. Good morning, Kirsten.
Hey, Olivia, Shannon, good morning to you guys. That's right. So much is going to be happening this weekend. And the 700 and 800 blocks of Market Street right down here in Nulu. I'm with Lauren Hendricks. Lauren, we got the watermelon eating contest, and we have a limbo contest, too.
Yes, we do. Yes, we have both of those happening this Saturday at Nulu Summerfest. And the winner of both of those contests will win tickets to this year's Bourbon and Beyond.
We love that. Oh,
yes.
my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, so that watermelon contest is at 3. The limbo contest is at 6, but we're having one ourselves right now.
Yeah,
all right, let's see what we can do here. All right, we're going to come back here to our limbo thing. Lauren, do you want to go first? All right.
This is an easy one. I can do this.
Okay, there she goes. Okay, I'm going to go now. Oh, okay. We got it. All right. Hey, we love that. All right, so anyone can do the limbo eat contest, right?
That's right. Yeah, you don't have to register beforehand. Just show up just right before, and your presence is your participation. And yeah, it's really fun. We have a children's version and an adult version of both the watermelon eating contest and the limbo contest. So we have prizes for the children, and then obviously the tickets for the adult winners.
Oh,
yeah.
Fun. Okay, let's do this down one more time. Let's see if we can do it. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous already. Oh my goodness.
We can do it.
Oh, I haven't been practicing. Good for you. Okay. All right, we got it. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Ooh, my legs are gonna be in the way. No, I did it.
All right, we made it to level 2.
We made it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it past it. I don't know if I can make it past that. We're gonna leave it at that. End on a high note here. Yeah. Lauren, remind me, what time is Nulu Summerfest?
Yeah, so Summerfest is this Saturday. It kicks off at noon, goes till 7 p.m. And in addition to these games, the contest, we have plenty of activities and games for families, adults, children. We'll have chalk art, plenty of summer games, pickleball, cornhole. I mean, it's just a free summer celebration, and we invite the whole community to come out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning, Lauren. I really appreciate it. Again, mark your calendars this Saturday, Nulu Summerfest. Guys, back to you.
Oh, Kirsten, thank you. You nailed it there on the limbo, too.
Yeah,
good
very
job.
Good.
Well, Kirsten's also tall, so that makes it tougher on her. I'm 5'2". I'm a little bit.
You said you're a champ at it.
I'm pretty good at it, but like I said, I'm short, so that helps. I get an advantage. Well, speaking of summer, nothing says summer quite like a hot dog, maybe a picnic at a baseball game.
Oh, yeah. So July is National Hot Dog Month, and today is National Hot Dog Day. It's every year on the third Wednesday in July. So you can enjoy that staple with relish, mustard, or any kinds of toppings. The most popular, mustard, edges out ketchup. Totally agree. The group says Americans eat 7 billion hot dogs through the summer season between Memorial Day and Labor Day. So if you have a hot dog today, you can share it on social media. Use the hashtag National Hot Dog Day. Actually, I grew up in Chicago, so I love the Chicago dog that has cucumbers on it, pickles.
I have something crazy to say. Give me a plain dog.
With a bun or just?
Can't beat the classic, just plain
just with
dog
on a bun.
on the bun. Well, yeah.
No, but no ketchup, no mustard.
Nothing. Just a plain dog.
Okay.
And I'm over here just like, give me like a habanero mustard. I want to fancy with.
Agree. Yeah. No, I say you can't beat the classic. I'm just plain bun. And it's less messy too.
True.
That's fair, but I'm like, I feel like it's missing something.
No, it's not missing anything. Trust me, it's perfect.
To each their own on that, for sure. For today, though, maybe if you want to like grill out some hot dogs, I'll let you know about the sunny weather trying to come our way for the afternoon, plus more rain for later on this week in just 30 seconds. Everyone, meteorologist Tawana Andrew here. Yeah, we're still debating the merits of certain toppings on hot dogs. For those of you heading out this morning, we continue to see more of those clouds overhead across our region, and we are watching some of that heavy rainfall and the impacts that can have. So we do have now a flood advisory for portions of Franklin County, through Shelby County into the very southeastern portions of Jefferson County, Spencer County, and Bullitt County are also included in this. It goes until 9:30 a.m. as we deal with these pockets of heavy rain continuing to track off towards the east. Here's a good thing, though, is that these downpours are not as heavy as what we saw earlier this morning, but we're still going to keep an eye on some isolated flooding issues, mainly in those spots where drainage is not always the best. That is where we could run into a few more of those problems. But we're seeing downpours from Carroll County into the eastern parts of the Louisville Metro and into portions of Bullitt County. So that's where we're dealing with some of the heaviest rain as of right now. So more of that rain from portions of Trimble County all the way into Jennings County, and some more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms from Radcliffe to Hodgenville and over into the very eastern parts of Breckinridge County. This does stretch towards Mumfordville, so right along 65 in Hart County, dealing with some very heavy rain. So this is just part of kind of a wave of energy moving through wave country as of right now. So watching these fronts nearby, because this, especially that cold front off towards our northwest, as that dips towards us later on today, one, it will help to increase rain chances for later on this week, and two, it's going to stall out across our region, which means more rain for later on this weekend. So off to a warm and muggy start, sitting in those low to mid 70s across our area. As we continue throughout the rest of the day, notice the rainfall that we're dealing with right now quickly races off towards the east. A couple of isolated showers will linger through that 9, 10, 11 o'clock time frame across parts of our region. The afternoon is actually trending a bit drier initially as we climb into those upper 80s and low 90s for highs. But here's the thing that I don't think the modeling is fully picking up on. As we start to warm up a little bit more, we are going to see that heating of the day helping to fuel a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms, and these can produce heavy rain, some gusty winds as they move on by. But those will lose their energy once the sun goes down, so that does leave us drier overnight as we fall back down into the 70s for your lows. We have a marginal risk of severe weather for most of our region, basically along and north of the parkways, as we watch for that chance of some gusty winds along with the heavy rainfall. Now, we could add on an additional 1/4 inch to inch of rainfall with some of those showers and thunderstorms throughout the rest of the day. By the way, the better rain chance for later on this afternoon will be for those of you along and east of 65. For tomorrow, we'll keep an eye on additional scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially once we get into the afternoon hours. This is where we could see heavy rain, some gusty winds embedded in some of these storms. Rain chances drop off Thursday night into Friday, but that front will still be nearby over the upcoming weekend. And this is why we'll get in on more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially for your Friday, but also into portions of Saturday and Sunday. That front going to lift back to the north over the weekend and going to keep some of those rain chances in our forecast. Some of those rain chances, by the way, last all the way towards Monday. So from today through Monday, some of you could see anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain. So this is why flash flooding will become more of an issue as the week goes along in some spots. And then for the middle and end of next week, we say goodbye to that rain, but we say hello to a lot of that summer heat. Some of the modeling trying to push us into the upper 90s for highs for next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that as we watch the rainfall for right now.
Whew, that's going to be warm. Thank you. Taking a look at the big stories we're following today from around the country and the world now.
Today, the Federal Producer Price Index report is expected to drop as President Donald Trump is doubling down on tariffs. President Trump says he'll likely impose pharmaceutical duties at the end of the month and eventually could hike them to 200%. Meanwhile, the new CPI report shows an increase in the inflation rate. It's up 0.3% between May and June and 2.7% year over year.
The Senate will reconvene today to debate DOGE cuts. Members will consider amendments before taking a final vote. The House already passed its version of the bill. If the Senate makes any changes, the legislation will have to go back to the House now for final approval. And as of this week, federal officials say more than 3,000 flash flood warnings have been issued across the U.S. this year by the National Weather Service, and that is the highest since they started keeping record.
We'll be right back with more local headlines coming up in your Wake Up Watch list. 6:54 now. We're following all the latest top headlines in today's Wake Up Watch list.
Louisville police are investigating after a shooting leaves a 17-year-old dead. LMPD says it happened just after 5:30 last night on Poplar Level Court near Thomas Jefferson Middle School. Officers found the teen who had been shot in the torso, and he was taken to the hospital where he died. LMPD has not said if they've made an arrest in this case.
If you have ideas on how to make the 2nd Street Bridge safer, you can join a town hall meeting today. Indiana State Representative Wendy Dant Chesser is hosting today's meeting at 3:30 inside Clarksville Town Hall. Chesser says representatives from Jeffersonville, Clarksville, and Louisville will be at the meeting. Here's Tawana taking a look at that rainy forecast.
Yeah, we're seeing more of these showers and thunderstorms trying to exit our region as of right now. And we do, of course, have that flood advisory that we're watching from parts of Bullitt County up into Franklin County. We've seen quite a bit of rainfall already this morning, and any additional rainfall can cause some localized flooding issues, especially in those spots where the drainage is not the best. So just keep that in mind for this morning. As we get into the afternoon, still going to be watching a couple of those isolated showers and thunderstorms in our forecast. These can also produce some heavy rain and some gusty winds, so stay weather aware. Other than that, a mix of sun and clouds for the second half of the day with highs in the upper 80s and the low 90s. Looking ahead to the next 10 days, we'll be talking about more chances for rainfall for the rest of the week and into the upcoming weekend. So while it's not a washout, you certainly want to make sure you're weather aware. And the next week, we're just going to be hot. So we'll be looking at that.
And we do have a couple of traffic alerts for you this morning. First, we have that crash on I-265 westbound. It looks like it's near Preston Highway. And check the traffic cameras. It looks like that was a spin-out crash. So please be aware of those wet roads this morning. It also looks a little bit slow on 65 southbound as you're getting into Bullitt County this morning. But we can't say it enough. With those roads being wet, please take it easy. We don't want any more spin-out crashes because we know that can happen all over the metro.
Yeah. And keep in mind that that part of Bullitt County tends to be a little bit lower, so some minor flooding could be going on in that area this morning.
Yeah, our wipers are getting to work out this week, right? Man, I wanted mine to go even faster yesterday afternoon as I was driving around.
It's tropical rainfall, so that's not really surprising.
Yeah, kind of a reminder to get new wipers put on, too. That'll be important if you're old a little bit.
For sure. All right, we're going to see you on the Wave Now streaming if you want to join us. If not, the Today Show's up next.
Have a great day.
Get live streaming news, 24-hour weather, investigations, podcasts, and more, all for free with Wave Now.